Yo, what it do, y'all? It's your man Mike Titan, the Gaming Savant, here with my homeboy Dom, and we are bringing y'all our top 10 games of 2020. For all y'all that know, 2020 was a very interesting year, to say the least, inside of gaming and outside of gaming. But this was actually a really good year for gaming. A lot of good stuff that we've been waiting half decades for came out. A lot of surprises came out, and we have honorable mentions, games we wish we played, a full list. How did you feel about the games this year, Dom?
Like you said, considering everything that happened this year, I will say for the most part, it was actually a pretty good year for gaming. Like you said, a game that we've been waiting to well, I know me personally, I've been waiting since like 96, 97?
Somewhere around there.
Yeah, it finally came out, and definitely getting disappointed. So yeah, man, and we got some good, fantastic original IPs finally, which is something that I think we've all been clamoring for. Like, look, we're all fans of sequels and reboots and remasters, but without like those original IPs, think about if we would never got like the first Gears of War game on Xbox 360.
Exactly, or the first Halo, or the first Uncharted. Just think if those games were never created, or something else not as good was created in its place.
So, I mean, yeah, man, 2020, it was iffy, you know what I'm saying, for the most part, but for video games, unless, you missed out on new gen console, it was a pretty good year for games, I will say.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. So we're going to kick off our list, since there were so many games that came out, and I feel like you and me both have a fairly wide range of games that we're interested in genres. First off, we're going to start with games that we wish we got to play. So basically, games that came out, just never found the time to play or didn't get a chance to purchase in time. I'll go through mine. I only have about 6 here. The first one, which I'm really, really mad that I didn't get a chance to play, was Spider-Man Miles Morales. I actually own this game now. Bought it for Christmas. Haven't played it yet because I kind of want to get through some other things first. And I know it's kind of a shorter experience than the regular one. But if it's anything like the original Spider-Man that came out in 2018, I think that was my top 1 or 2 games of the year for that year. I know I'm definitely going to be a fan of it, especially with Miles Morales. If you've seen Into the Spider-Verse, or if you know of Miles Morales, then you'll be very excited for this game. Next one is Wasteland 3. This is what do you call it? CRPG, ARPG, one of those isometric RPGs that came out to Game Pass. So that's how I did play maybe about an hour or so of it, but around the time it came out, other things came out. I think it came out like in August, and y'all know I play Madden heavy, so that kind of took the majority of my time. But that is one that I do plan to get back to. This next one, which I didn't even know came out this year. I just happened, some streamer that I follow was playing it, and I just started to watch it, and I was like, all right, this looks pretty cool. Make sure I'm pronouncing this right. 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim, Aegis. This is actually made by Atlus, for y'all that don't know, are also the makers of the Persona series. So that's why I was really interested in it. It's one of those things, so it's very watercolor drawn. It's like a 2D visual novel, but there's also like a very strategic mech gameplay of it as well. It's like these 13 high school students, something about a robot invasion. There's like 13 different interbranching stories, and you can play them in different order, but they all still go in order somehow. I'm definitely looking forward to playing that. So that one I do plan to play this year. Just got to carve out some time for it. But if you're definitely into that, and if you're a fan of Atlus games, that's definitely one to look out for.
I think check that out then.
The next one, this is an early access game, and I've never played any of the games of this series, but as he said, I've kind of gotten a liking to like isometric RPGs this past year. Baldur's Gate 3 early access. When I tell you, I haven't played Baldur Gates 1 or 2. I know they're very, well-received games.
Yeah.
The company that develops this is a very known and trusted company. Good God, this game is beautiful.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
I didn't
the
like.
Sentinel was fantastic.
It was fantastic, and I was just watching videos and streams of it, and it's like the way it goes from in gameplay to cutscene, and this is an early access, so this isn't even the full game. I was like, all right, I'm definitely gonna play this. I'm debating. I need to check and see when the full release is set to launch, if it's this year or next year. But even if not, it is $60, but it's early access, so you get all the updates, I assume, for free as they come out. But I definitely do plan to play that. Next one is Ghostrunner.
That's on mine as well.
This is yours as well.
Yeah.
So last year, I fell in love with a game called Katana Zero, which is basically a kind of like a roguelike, but it's a story game, but you basically have to clear a room, and if you fail, you got to restart from the beginning. This is like that, except for in 3D and with cyber ninjas and all this stuff, and it's a very pretty game. Just never got around a time to play it. And
also
then,
based around the cyberpunk universe too.
Exactly, based around the cyberpunk universe. So you got your metal ninjas, your helmets that say weird faces and do stuff on it as well. But a very, quick reflex game.
Kind of Mirror's Edge, like I want to say.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought too. That it was kind of like Mirror's Edge, but like in the cyberpunk world. But definitely looking forward to playing that. And then the last one was a game that I heard about earlier this year or last year, and I didn't even know it was coming out until the day before it came out. Also on Game Pass. It's called Haven. How can I describe this? It's kind of like Journey, but it also has turn-based combat on it as well. It's the story of this man and this woman. Apparently they're married, they're together, they're stranded on this planet, and they got to get energy to get back to their home base. And they're basically floating throughout the planet, trying to figure out how to repair their ship or if somebody's going to send them help. One of those very, emotional, story-driven games. Looks very fun. I got to play a little bit of it, but not as much time as I wanted to. But that's another one I want to put more time into. Also, it's on Game Pass. So if you want to play it on there, PC and Xbox, you have that as well. But those are my games that I wish I got more time to play. What do you have on your list, Don?
So you already mentioned Ghostrunner, which is another game that I definitely want to get around to, especially considering the fact it's not like a full price game too. So it's really no reason to like play it. One I do have is Genshin Impact, which is a game that I've seen a lot of people playing. It's free to play. I just haven't gotten around to it. I do like the fact that I think it's 4 interchangeable characters you can play with.
A lot more than that, actually.
Oh well, you know what I'm saying.
So, do you know what a gacha game is?
Yeah.
So it's that, but with Breath of the Wild gameplay.
Boy, Breath of the Wild has influenced a lot of these games.
It does. I actually played a good chunk of it when it first came out, and I like it, but you basically pick your character, male or female, and then you got like 3 tutorial characters that you get. One's fire, one's ice, and I think the other one's wind or something. And then the other characters you meet in the story, and it does the thing where like on their specific story mission, you get to use them. But once that mission's over, you have to like unlock them through the gacha system, which is buying wishes, and then there's mechanics. I will say, overall, it is a fun game. Just not my cup of tea. Like after I kind of did a bit of the story, I was just thinking to myself, like, do I see myself playing this for 10 to 20 hours trying to unlock these characters and doing other things? Now is like, no, maybe someday I'll get back to it. But the fact that it's more or less a mobile game that they got ported over to PlayStation and PC that runs fairly well. I had no issues. I played it on both PlayStation and PC, and I even tried the mobile version out just to say, hey, let's see how it runs on my phone. And I had no issues with all, but it ran very well on all 3 platforms.
Okay, that's good to know. Also, I'm kind of glad you told me that, because I mean, the way these games set up, I don't know if I just got enough time to just sit down and be trying to unlock all of these characters. Another one that I have is Hades, which, because of you, I've become more, into like roguelike games lately. So, and I heard that game is just fantastic. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've watched a lot of gameplay on it, and you kind of know how I am with certain games like that. So if I'm ready to play it, then yeah, I will definitely be checking it out this year for sure. Half-Life Alyx. Obviously, I didn't play that because it was, VR, and I don't have that right now. So, but when you think about how long we've been waiting to like any type of, this is probably the closest that we're gonna get to a Half-Life 3 if you're just being honest right now.
Yeah. Very
and
true.
From what I saw in the gameplay and the story that I saw, them going VR with this one was probably the best way to go because it looks fantastic. And last but not least is the game that I told you before we even started recording, Immortals Fenyx Rising. Another game that was influenced by Breath of the Wild, according, you know what I'm saying? With the influence of Assassin's Creed as well, which is two games that I am damn good fans of. So yeah, I want to get around to that. And like you said, the humor is kind of Family Guy as well, you know, the G-rated version of Family Guy. So yeah, combine everything that I love. So yeah, I am definitely looking forward to that. And those are just some of the games that I wish I played in 2020.